The Third Testament, Revelations of Jesus Christ. Chapter 3, The Spiritual Son of the Second Coming of Christ. The Coming of the Lord. I present myself before humanity in a period when new revelations have transformed the life of man. Nevertheless, I still manifest myself to humanity with the same humility that you have always known. The divine Word of God has not come to incarnate on earth again, nor has Christ come again to be born in a humble manger. That is no longer necessary, because man no longer needs a material being to offer testimony of the power of God. Although I am manifesting myself through human spokesmen during this era, man should not believe that my presence is in a material form. It is not, because the presence of God is spiritual, universal, and infinite. My arrival during this period would not have been necessary if humanity had been living a life of justice and virtue. For not all of the deeds that humanity has presented to me are righteous. Man walks on the wrong path and continues to sin and to lead a life that is unjust and evil. Thus, it was necessary that I come during this era to awaken man spiritually and to remind him of the spiritual responsibilities that he has neglected. Man also needs to become aware of his Father, who has helped him to become all that he is and who will help him become the true Son of God. If I had attempted to communicate with man from spirit to spirit during this period, man would not have listened to me because he is very materialistic. Therefore, I chose to manifest myself through human spokesmen to give you my teachings. The reason why I descend to communicate with you is this: as you cannot ascend to communicate with your Lord spirit to spirit, I have had to descend another step, that is, from the spiritual and the divine, where you may not yet come, to take up your understanding, which has its seat in the brains of men, and translate my divine inspiration to human words and material sounds. Man still needs to learn much more, and it is the Lord who has come to bring him knowledge and wisdom. Although some may believe that my manifestation through the human spokesman was not praiseworthy, truly, I tell you that the teachings have revealed great spiritual wisdom and knowledge. Some would have preferred a manifestation with more splendor and more dignity, but any form of grandeur which reflects vanity lacks divine light and spiritual elevation. I could have arrived amidst lightning and storms to make my power known. Man would easily have known that the Lord had arrived. However, this would have caused man to become more confused and fearful. Do you not believe that instead of feeling love toward the Divine Father, you would have feared his justice? Although God is all power, you must realize that he will not impose his will on humanity, nor utilize his power to triumph over man. The only power God will use is divine love. It is the Divine Spirit who is now speaking to the universe. It has come to clarify all things that have confused man in the past. This is the dawning of a new day for mankind, because the Divine Spirit has come to eliminate the doubts and false fears of man, as well as to help man acquire greater spiritual wisdom and understanding, allowing his spirit to become free. I say to you that after you become familiar with the essence of my teachings and the justice of my laws, you will also become aware of how your previous belief and ideas prevented you from knowing the truth. No longer will the fear of punishment prevent you from analyzing and learning about different things. You will feel free to learn as much as you can. However, your conscience will tell you when it is not to your benefit to penetrate into knowledge that is not reserved for man. You must learn that man is not entitled to all knowledge. He must acquire only the knowledge that is reserved for him. My people, if it was announced that my arrival would be amidst wars, unleashed elements in nature, epidemics, and chaos on earth, it was not I who caused these events. I came during this period because I knew that humanity would need me during this time of great ordeals. Those events that were foretold to signal my arrival are now occurring. During this third era, I have come to Earth during a period of great suffering and turmoil to awaken and summon a new humanity with love. It is love that inspires man to practice justice, brotherhood, and peace. The word of Christ germinated in his disciples, as well as in the other people who followed him. His teachings and the essence of those teachings spread throughout the world. The teachings that I have brought today also will spread throughout the world. They will be welcomed by those who are prepared to feel and comprehend them. Every eye shall see me. Jesus said to his disciples, I shall be gone from you for only a time. I shall return. Then it was revealed that their master would return in a cloud surrounded by angels and beaming rays of light toward the earth. Here I am in the cloud, surrounded by angels, which are the spiritual beings that have come to manifest themselves among you as messengers of my divinity, and as your good counselors. The rays of light are my word that speaks to you of new revelations that surpasses wisdom in human understanding. Blessed are those who without seeing have believed, for these are the ones who have felt my presence. Man, through this Spirit shall find the truth. All shall feel my presence, because I have told you since that time that every eye would see me when the proper time comes. For this time in which you live is precisely that announced by my word and by my prophets of past times, so that every man on earth would see me through the senses and potential of his spirit. It is not necessary that they behold me limited or drawn in a human form in order to say that they have seen me, but it is sufficient that their spirit feels me and their understanding can say with all truth that they have seen me. Love and faith, like intelligence, can look infinitely beyond the reach of your eyes. It is for this reason that I tell you that it will not be necessary to limit my presence in the human form, or through some symbolic figure to get you to see me. In the second era, how many saw me or passed by my side, not knowing who I was? In contrast, how many who did not know when I was born as a man saw me in spirit through my light and enjoyed my presence by means of their faith? All of you open your eyes and justify your faith that you are children of the light. All of you may see me, but it is indispensable to have the will and faith to do so. I say to you that when this humanity is more against me with its irreverence, its deviation from justice and righteousness, I shall appear along their path, full of splendor, as I appeared before Saul, and I will make them listen to my voice. Then you will behold many who have unknowingly been persecuting me, will arise, transformed and illuminated, ready to follow me along the path of righteousness, love, and justice. I will say to them, hold back your footsteps, O travelers, and drink from this fountain of crystalline waters. Rest from the harsh journey in which I have tested you. Confide your troubles to me, and allow me to gaze, to penetrate deeply into your spirit, because I want to fill you with grace and to comfort you. My love shall stir your most sensitive fibers, but in harmony with your conscience, which makes you hear my divine concert, and many shall behold me in the sweet figure of Jesus. I must warn you that the figure of Jesus is not the perfect form in which you shall behold me. If I told you in past times, every eye shall see me, I made you understand that all of you would know the truth. Yet I must tell you that I shall limit myself according to the evolution of each spirit. But as you ascend in the ladder of perfection, you will behold me in all my splendor. For now, do not try to imagine me in any form whatsoever. Meditate. If your spirit, being limited, is essence, is light, what form may the universal spirit of your Lord have, who has no beginning and no end? Leave what is unfathomable in the intimacy of my arcane. During the second era, I revealed to you that I would come again among mankind, and that my spiritual world of light would descend with me. However, humanity has not understood nor correctly interpreted the meaning of my word. That is why each religion awaits for me amidst its church and people, except to perceive me with their physical eyes. Those who await me in that manner are the same ones who in the past said that Jesus was not the true Messiah. My disciples, I now say to you, the moment will come when you will perceive me in all my splendor. At that time, the earth and its inhabitants will have become purified, and the grace and virtue of the Spirit will have been restored. Suffering will have disappeared, and there will only be joy. It will be an infinite day, a day that will never end. Do you not wish to perceive those miracles? Do you not want your children to communicate with my Spirit, to be free of sin, and to form a world of peace? If mankind would have known how to analyze the prophecies of the first and second era, they would not be confused today about their fulfillment. This is what happened during the second era, when the Messiah was born among men. The same thing that is happening today, when I have come in spirit. The meaning of my teaching is the same in the two eras. It prepares you to make of this existence a pleasant dwelling, although temporary, where men will regard and treat each other as brethren with a warmth of true brotherhood pouring from one another. Also, prepare the Spirit to penetrate into those worlds or mansions that the Father has reserved for His children after this existence. My wish is that you do not feel like strangers when you go there, but rather that your spirituality and intuition will allow you to regard everything that you find as if you have previously been there. Much of the truth will be in it, if you know how to remain in contact with the spiritual from here by means of the prayer. I am the traveler who is calling at the doors of your heart. I call, and you do not know who it is. You open and do not recognize me, like the traveler who comes to a town where no one knows him, or like the foreigner who comes to a strange land and is not understood in his own language. In this way I present myself to you. When will you feel my presence? O humanity, when will you recognize me as Joseph was recognized in those days by his brothers in Egypt?